I kind of like the price on the Miami Dolphins right now to go over the Dolphins win total. Miami very quietly, like I don't know if I want to say they outplayed Buffalo on Sunday, but stood toe to toe with the Bills. Literally lost on a 61-yard field goal by two. It had been brutal. Like the Bills had brought in at kicker tryouts, before settling on Tyler Bass to remain the kicker, and he hits a 61-yarder to end the game. Like the Dolphins could have easily won that game on Sunday on the road in Buffalo, and then. What are we saying about Miami moving forward? What are we saying about the Dolphins this upcoming Monday night on the road at the Ramley at the LA Rams? So Miami's a 2.5-point dog next Monday night. At the very least, I like teasing Miami in that game against the Ramley. So Miami's adjusted win total right now at BetMGM is 6.5 at the Rams next Monday night. Home Raiders, home Patriots. They can beat the Rams. They're going to be 5-6. At Green Bay, I love the Packers. I'll have to take the Packers in that game.
Yeah.
They play the Jets twice. Let's say they split at worst with the Jets. Miami will probably win one of those games, right? I think split is fair. At Houston,
yeah, split.
I think the Texans are probably not as good as we thought they were coming into the year. Home San Fran, probably not great. At Cleveland can definitely win. I think the Dolphins can win 5 more games coming up this season. I think over 6.5 is a bet that I am eyeing right now for the Dolphins. I am bullish, Femi, on Miami coming up over the course of the rest of the season. What about the AFC
Would you ever bet
North?
their playoff stuff?
No, I think they're too far behind at this point.
Just a little bit too far behind. Yeah, that's fair. AFC North for me, and this is one I talked about during the Femi and Frank. Yeah, that's... You pretty much have to run the table or lose one game only to feel safe about making the playoffs. Probably not.
Yeah,
ideal.
I mean, you at the very least you have to go 7-2 down the stretch, and I think they'll lose one to the Jets. They have to go to Houston. They host the Niners. They go to Green Bay. Can it happen? Yes. Do I want to bet on it happening at a big price? I don't think I do. Plus 520, the number at BetMGM, Miami to the playoffs.
Big number, but yeah, they're up against it. Clearly, that's why the price is plus 520.
Would you bet Bengals money line Thursday night against Baltimore? Yes or no?
I think they're live for sure. So, if I get there with a +6 or +6.5, I will have a little bit of money line. So yes.
So Cincinnati, if you think the Bengals are going to make the playoffs, if that's the bet that you like, or the Bengals to go over their adjusted win total, get to 9 wins. Shouldn't you just bet the Bengals to win on Thursday night at Baltimore? Shouldn't that just be the way you play it for a better price? Because if Cincinnati wins this game and gets to 5-5, they're cooking with gas to make the postseason. Cooking with gas.
I win the division.
So that's just, I don't know if Cincy can get there with it's not impossible, but that was my thought, thinking about, if anyone's bullish on the Bengals, in lieu of betting, over wins, or in lieu of betting them to make the playoffs, and all those things are around even money, why not just bet them on the money line this week against Baltimore? Because I don't know if they need to win this game to get there, but it would certainly help a lot. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to bet the Bengals plus the points on Thursday, and I'll have a little sprinkled as well, Femi, on the Bengals money line.
I know we talked about this team last week, and we gave the optimistic lens of the Pittsburgh Steelers, and maybe they can go to 11-6. But the more that I've thought about this one, it just feels like this is sort of the sell high spot on Pittsburgh. Easy first half of the schedule. Take advantage of that. I think I'm out on Pittsburgh. You
gave such a great impassioned speech about them last week.
It was an impassioned speech. I almost had the hashtag "Here we go" on my T-shirt. It was a lot going on, but I keep looking at the schedule and how this thing breaks for them, and trying to be as realistic as possible about this team and not just be optimistic. Under 9.5 at plus money, I think is a decent shot on this team. They made the trades. They realize that they're up against it with the schedule that they have coming up, and they realize what's ahead. But I just think that the rest of their division, Cleveland notwithstanding, but Cincinnati's trying to make a playoff push. Baltimore is trying to make a push towards being a 1 seed, even though they'll fall short of that one since Kansas City has a big lead. But at least they want to get the 2 seed in the AFC. They have so many difficult games that they have ahead, Kansas City and everything like that. Under 9.5 at plus money, that to me is a little bit attractive just because this week they're getting bet against, chance that they lose to the Commanders. And at that point, what is the situation then, from the win total standpoint? So under 9.5 plus 105, probably have to do it this week and hope that they lose on Sunday. But I think that's a bet that could be made in the AFC North right now that I'm going to make that bet by the end of the week, under 9.5 on the Steelers. I've completely flipped on them, but I'm out.
Well, it is election season, so I think flip-flopping is the name of the game right now in the United States of America. Femi did reference a couple trades that the Steelers made today. Yeah, so the polling data says under wins for the Steelers. Trading for Preston Smith from the Green Bay Packers, like pass rushing linebacker for a 7th-round pick, and trading for Jets wide receiver Mike Williams. Mike Will made it. He made his way to Pittsburgh. I'll talk about that coming up later in the show in the phenomenal Fantasy 5. So, Femi, a little anti the Steelers. You were pro Steelers last week, but again, like I always think of, name your politician of choice, flip-flopping. Femi, I would Senator Abebefe with the flip-flop here on the Pittsburgh Steelers. I don't know if I like the Texans to win 11 or more games this year. With the way the offensive line looks right now, Bobby Slowick's got oatmeal for brains as the offensive coordinator. Nico Collins apparently is still not fully healthy. We'll see if he plays on Sunday. We'll see about Will Anderson. Like, he left the game on Sunday for the Texans. His status, their best defensive player. Schedule for Houston. Detroit on Sunday night at home. Like, betting market says they're more likely to lose. They lose the game 6-4. At Dallas, I know, like, you'll like the Texans in that game. I don't want to count Dallas out, but Houston will be favored, to be fair. This is where, like, you might... So, home Tennessee, probably going to win. Now, can Jacksonville be a little frisky? Maybe. Home Miami, I like the Dolphins. At the Chiefs, home Ravens, and then at the Titans. I think it's going to be close with Tennessee. I lead towards Houston's win total under, Femi. Not a bet, but I would lean towards the win total under for the Texans. And why don't we close here with the AFC West, where obviously Kansas City's going to win the division. I want to do Charger stuff, but like it's all juiced really heavily for them to do positive things. Anything for you in this division?
It's juiced heavily, and like you have to drink a lot of juice. But how does the win total go under? Like, I have Chargers from preseason over 8.5. It's sitting at 9.5. Their schedule is soft down the stretch, like absolutely soft. Like, yeah, they have a game at Kansas City that's a little bit difficult, but like, listen to this: home against the Titans, home against the Bengals, home against the Ravens. Like, those two games are difficult. Bengals, Ravens, even if at home, they're difficult games. At the Falcons, at the Chiefs, they end home Tampa, home Broncos, at Patriots, at Raiders. Like, those, they could go 4-0 in that stretch right there, and you're at 9. And if they get this game against Tennessee on Sunday, boom, that's 10. Like, and then maybe they can upset one of the other teams in the sandwich in between that. I don't see how this goes under. It's minus 155. It's a lot of juice, but I like the over on the Chargers win total. Like, they make the playoffs. Like, I'm very happy with my over 8.5 bet, but I want to go and grab some more because I think this team gets to double-digit wins.
Yeah, I was actually contemplating, like, do I want to like eat the juice and bet the Chargers to make the playoffs and lay a lot to make that happen? Because I think they're going to. But I guess if Herbert gets hurt, then the whole thing gets screwed up. Because now here's Taylor Heineke. You're not going to pay a lot for this muffler. I don't know how many people get that reference. How do you feel about...
Is that a Meineke car?
It is. How do you feel about Raiders? Can I sell you on Raiders under 4.5 wins?
Whew.
So coming out of the bye...
2 wins?
2-7. 2-7. So I have to win 2 or less games the rest of the season. Desmond Ridder is going to start a couple of them. So bye week. At Miami, loss. Denver at home, like Ridder starts that game, definite loss. At the Chiefs, loss. At the Buccaneers, who you think are like the 2007 Patriots, loss. Home Atlanta, loss. Home Jacksonville, maybe they could win at home against Jacksonville. At New Orleans, Derek Carr revenge game, maybe they could win that game. Home Chargers in Week 18. Chargers may be playing for a playoff spot. You think there's 3 wins in there for a team with 0 talent?
Seems like an under to me. And plus 136 at BetMGM?
Pride and poise. Commitment to excellence. Just go under the win total. Baby.